What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. It's 9:30 a.m. on the East Coast, which means some of you are just waking up on the West Coast. I've already been to the DMV today, and it was a quick appointment, which meant I'm able to do a live stream. So let's do it. We got the 104 in this Millie Maker draft. I like the 4 spot. Allows for some flexibility. I have enough CD Lamb, so I'm probably going to go running back here unless Justin Jefferson falls. Probably get Bijan. Maybe I'll get a Saquon share. I might just go Gibbs over Saquon. ADP has Saquon, though, ahead of both those guys. Looking forward to see who jumps in today. Into the stream. Jamar Chase going 101. No shock there. Bijan went 102. Evan has a question in just a second. I will get to it, Evan. Pause best ball, bro, for this. Man, you're just getting crushed by JJ. All right, we're going Justin Jefferson. Mark says West Coast dudes rise up. Pause best ball, bro, for this. Evan said, hi, JJ, did you hate your time at the DMV? Honestly, it's good to touch a little grass on your way into the DMV. It's good to experience other people as you get to the DMV. I had a great time, mostly because I had an appointment and I was in and out pretty quickly. I had 2 reasons to go. I couldn't do one of them, and then the other one, I just got my real ID finally. That was the painless part. Got a new picture for my driver's license, which not the best. Does anyone actually like their driver's license picture? The one I just took, and they're like, hey, do you like this? And I'm like, if I say no, I'm not going to just keep retaking a picture at the DMV. So sure, it's fine. It doesn't matter enough. But it was horrible. Jonathan Taylor going earlier than usual. Thank you. I am now real. I shaved down to just a mustache for my picture and I look like a cop. That's a good bit. I didn't even do like any neck beard shave. So it was not the best picture, but my last driver's license. I haven't gotten a picture for my driver's license in a minute. Man, Drake London falling is nice. Drake London and Justin Jefferson. That can't be that frequent of a combo. There he is. There's Pepper Tony. Idaho made me retake the written driving test for my real ID. Really? Is that all of Idaho has to do that? I had to retake. I remember when I moved to North Carolina, I had to do the written test. I think. That was like 10 years ago, so it's hard to remember. But I think I had to retake a test. All right, let's see what's going on around 2. I'm into McBride or Rashee Rice. This is a interesting board. DJ Moore going here. James Cook going in the 103. This is why DraftKings is awesome. It's just the Wild West, man. I mean, we're probably going Trey McBride. You guys see me draft McBride a lot, huh? Driver's license photo is just a tiny bit above the passport photo and the prison photo. Yeah, I'd probably power rank them that way. Your best photo is going to be like wedding, right? Like wedding photo, school photo, driver's license photo, passport photo, prison photo. Yeah, all spuds need to retake. Interesting. Well, this is an interesting draft. It's a good value on Tyreek Hill, given where he's going now. T. Higgins, my goodness, T. Higgins just went 308. This is going to make for a more interesting stream, that's for sure. It feels like a draft, given it's the Wild West right now, where we're going to have to probably reach for quarterback. But we have outs right now. We have Penix, McCarthy, Kyler. We'll see what kind of running back makes it to us in the 4th and 5th. Costco Matt. Hey man, you have to schedule these live streams on YouTube so I can plan. Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. I don't have a schedule myself for these things. It's really just when do I have a little bit of time that I can hop on and do this? I'm doing like four shows a week each week and then guest spots. It's just a lot going on. Which player on the draft board has a smile most similar to the picture you took for the ID? Okay. All right, this is good. Obviously you can't see as well. DJ Moore is probably the leader. Maybe James Cook. I didn't do a full-blown smile. So if you see like super white teeth, that's not the look. James Cook, let me look up James Cook's picture. Yeah, James Cook didn't show any teeth in his. All right, here we go. We got to go back to this. Let's see. Oh, we can go Marion Hampton. I know that the Najee stuff is still it seems more optimistic than it was before. But there's a decent enough drop here. I'll go Hampton. JJ, when you're doing so many drafts, are you actively trying to not to take the same combination of players with your early picks? I don't know. I would imagine I have some similar or a lot of similar combinations, but I think naturally, especially on DK where people aren't as like attached to ADP, it's easier to like not have that happen. All right, I got to think really quick. Do I go Sutton? Do I go Tet? I don't have anyone from Seattle. Devontae Smith. Do I just play? I'll just play the ADP game. I don't have a ton of Sutton. We'll just go Sutton. I kind of just go by falling values in the early rounds unless there's like an obvious stack to make. But right there really wasn't. I could have gone Kenneth Walker too. Still think he's undervalued. My dog is snoring right next to me. He's a 15-year-old Maltese Shih Tzu mix. He's like 20 pounds. Small little guy. His name's Henry. And he's just snoring up a storm. Hit the like button. That's right, Travis. You tell him. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Kitchen. That's what I'm saying. Is that you in that picture? Is this you? Why do you look like Mike Glennon? A lot of ADP value on that team. That's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna try to gobble up a little bit of value and then go from there. Try to make the correlations work later in the draft and reach a little bit there. I mean, there's some weird, like George Pickens falling. Devontae Smith fell. It's a weird draft. Patrick Mahomes going in the 4th. Kitchen says that's him. It looks like you got a super long neck. Buddy, I had drafted Judkins once to begin with. I wasn't really drafting Judkins to begin with. Unstacked Burrow at 37 seems not ideal. I mean, we see it more and more. People aren't going to like it, but Najee Harris behind a good line, grinding down clock is going to be something Jim loves this year. I don't totally disagree, but I think the counter argument to that is that later in the season, I think we have a better chance to see more Amari and Hampton, and that's where this matters the most, right? You guys want to go Rome? Again, not much correlation, but there's could have gone David Montgomery there. Probably should have with Justin Jefferson. JJ, you ever mess with slow drafts? I did whenever to start the offseason, and I just realized how much I just don't enjoy having such a, like 50 drafts. I remember last year I was doing like 120 at a time, and it was not fun. I just, wow, Mecca Buka just went. What on earth is going on right now? What is going on? I mean, even Jordan Addison at 6'10", while he's on trial or about to be on trial or whatever it is. Like, if I'm still able to get David Montgomery, that'd be nice. That'd be pretty sweet. Otherwise, I don't want to have to take Juwan because I have enough. I'd probably just reach for Pearsall to connect him with Rome. Montgomery would be perfect for this build. There he goes. Shouldn't have said it out loud. I'm not drafting Judkins. I don't like Judy. I could go Khalil Shakir, but I think ceiling and pairing him with a Dunze makes more sense. So I'm going to go Pearsall. Maybe it's a little bit of a reach. That's not really that big of a reach. This is a pretty wide receiver heavy squad. No, I'm not going Caleb there. If I didn't have the correlation, I might have gone a different direction, but yeah, I mean, look, if you do slow drafts, you hate yourself. I have 60 slows right now. Look, I understand, like, I get more volume if I do slows. But right now, part of it was that I wanted to end the slows when I had a bunch of trips in June and into July, and I didn't want to have to be on my phone a ton on those trips. So I try to be finished with the slows by the time I had them. So I just haven't gone back to it. 46 days of the Late Round podcast is crazy. That's what I'm talking about, man. So many hours of that show. That's just based on ChatGPT's estimate, but it's crazy. We're going to need quarterback or running back. I don't want to force wide receiver anymore or get wide receiver right now. I mean, Bo Nix works. Hawkinson works. What do you guys think? Hawkinson. I don't want to play a game of chicken with quarterback. I guess it's kind of the opposite of chicken. Because the thing is, if I get, well, we'll see. We'll see what's on the board here. We have Kyler here too as an out. I like Nix more than Kyler because I have Cortland Sutton. Hawkinson, I already had McBride too. So I got Nix and Sutton, and there's a lot of outs in the second in this next round. Like, we could realistically go Nix and Kyler and go with a 2 quarterback build. Hawkinson being there, though, is kind of interesting with Justin Jefferson, and then we hope for McCarthy. And then we had Ingram as an out for Bo Nix, but then obviously he just got drafted. But, like, Njoku going ahead of TJ Hawkinson just doesn't make much sense to me. I don't even like TJ Hawkinson. I don't hate him. It's just not someone that I'm, like, really going hard after. Caleb went right after Bo Nix. I think the way the quarterbacks are going right now, I got to go with like a Kyler. This is exactly what I talked about on Becoming a Best Ball Bro today. the episode that dropped, is that when there's these quarterback runs, and yes, there's better value, if you will, with TJ Hawkinson, but I'd rather go Kyler because when there's these quarterback runs and we're seeing all these quarterbacks go right here, someone on the other side of the board is freaking out, right? But when there's these quarterback runs, you're going to see in round 10, round 11, like the CJ Strouds of the world go. And to me, Kyler and Bo Nix have way more upside than those kinds of players, just given their rushing ability. And so you're essentially getting way better value by getting the top of this. You know, I mean, it's technically a low end QB1, but like the top of this giant cluster, you're just getting way better value out of these quarterbacks. And then you can worry about the other positions while other people are fighting for quarterback. So like right now, I don't go with a ton of 2 quarterback builds, but I think this is one where we can get like Jackson Dart late and get a third guy. And we've already stacked both of our quarterbacks in this scenario. We need running back for sure. And that's a problem with all these running backs going. We need more quarterbacks to go off the board to feel really good about it. Exactly. You have to be aggressive with quarterback on DK. You got to play the game. You can't just sit back and be like, oh, this is bad value, because quarterback does dry up, right? If it's season long, it's totally different, because in season long, you know that your league mates are going to drop the quarterback, their backup quarterbacks. You know that there's going to be some quarterbacks who emerge that aren't drafted, all that kind of stuff. But in best ball, 30 plus quarterbacks are going to be drafted. It's just a totally different game from that perspective. Man, all these running backs, Dobbins would have been great for this build. Look at all these running backs getting drafted, though. This is bad. We'll see what we're working with. I mean, we can still get like a Sharbs. I don't love getting Javonte Williams. Tajay Spears. Beggars can't be choosers in this area when you're needy. It's going to feel bad, though, if Justin Fields is available whenever I pick. Not going to lie. Okay, thank God. That would have been rough. Good. Now, see, more quarterbacks are going. This is good. We want more quarterbacks to go off the board. And JJ McCarthy, imagine if I would have waited for McCarthy. If I took TJ Hawkinson, the tilt would have been next level. We'll go Sharb, or should we go Spears, because there's maybe more of a floor there? I kind of want to go Spears. Maybe people will disagree with that move, but I think there's more of that like pass catching floor. Sharps is more contingent upside based, and with Kenneth Walker. Sharps has a higher ceiling. There's no doubt about it. But I want to lock in some sort of like floor at running back, so we'll go with Spears there. Now we could go Marvin Mims and stack Bo Nix even more, but I don't think we need to force that when there's other outs in Denver and we already have Cortland Sutton. So if Charbonnet is there, we'll get Sharbs. The real question is going to be, do we get Javonte Williams? And I don't want to have to make that decision right now. Okay, good. Still got Charbonnet. So I think that was the right read. But yeah, so this is the exact thing that I was just talking about. I mean, I love Drake May, so that's fine. But like CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, these pocket passer guys, I think we've gotten to the point where like you just kind of have to go with like if you only get one quarterback in the first 9 rounds or so, you have to just kind of go with the falling pocket passer. And oftentimes it's been like a Jordan Love type. Like he went earlier than usual in this draft. And that's why I have a ton of Jordan Love in my portfolio right now. Sometimes it's CJ Stroud. Right now, Trevor Lawrence hasn't been drafted yet, which makes him a better value and stuff. You just have to be reactive to that kind of thing. And it makes it really difficult because you're being reactive when your build might be saying a totally different thing based on what you drafted the first 9 or 10 rounds of the draft. So it's difficult. Not a bad squad. Not a ton of correlation though. We just have our two little stacks. But that's kind of how it goes too when you go more hero or zero RB. You don't have the flexibility in draft to pick running back or wide receiver because sometimes you just gotta flip it and start drafting running backs. Jaden Blue, no correlation, but I like him. Also just intrigued by Tucker Kraft still being there. I haven't really been taking any Saints quarterbacks. That's the problem with Olave, is that he's just difficult to stack. But if there's one, I would go Tyler Shuck. All right, we got some running backs here that we can pick from. Garendo technically correlates, but again, I want to get some baseline production. I'm going to get Jaden Blue and then hope that Garendo's there in the next round. We could even go Trey Benson, though, to have kind of the same impact type play, not impact type player, because I think Garendo has a higher ceiling with an injury, but I mean, from the standpoint of them being more handcuffs than anything else. No, I think there's a pretty big difference in profile between Tootin and Blue as players. Tootin has way more ground game upside than Blue does. Blue didn't carry that much of a workload in college. Part of that was definitely because of the competition, but he's a smaller dude. He's not as big as Tootin. All right, we'll go Trey Benson if he's there and Ray Davis if he's not. All right, so Benson, I haven't drafted a ton of Trey Benson, which is, I don't know, I've never been like a massive fan of him as a talent, but it works for this build because we already have Kyler and Trey McBride. This is a fun little build. We got to start thinking correlation, though. Does Trey stink or is he this year's tank? I mean, I think Trey Benson showed more than Tank Bigsby did as rookies. Benson had some burst and some big play ability. But I don't know if he's special by any means. Yeah, I know I passed on Trey Harris at 140. I was very fixated on getting a running back. But it's fine. Part of that's the holdout, man. That's why that's likely why he's falling. Although this draft, he went behind like a Luther Burden and Jaden Higgins and stuff, so. I guess Higgins wouldn't fall in that category. Could have paired Harris though with Hampton. Yeah, Mike Williams on the pup, sure. The pup rules though are different this time of year. Doesn't mean he's like out for 6 games or 4. Have we totally given up on Jermaine Burton? No, I think in best ball it's kind of harder. DraftKings is a little bit easier if you want to throw that final round dart. I liked him as a prospect, so I don't want to totally give up on him. I haven't seen an update on Ayuk, Matt. Some of these guys in the 13th and 14th go a little bit earlier than this. This is good to, like this kind of gap. Like this is why I think Geno is a better value than like CJ Stroud oftentimes. All right, we got to figure out what we're going to do. Could go Hollywood to get a bring back for, I kind of want to do that. Hollywood to get a bring back for Denver. I'm just kind of looking at the board to make sure there's nothing else glaring. Just play the ADP game. I haven't drafted much Hollywood Brown. We'll do that. And then maybe we get a tight end. Maybe we go running back. Could just get a Bigsby. I don't really have a ton of Bigsby. Eloso, 6:30 a.m. live stream's been catching me off guard. Look, I know it's 6:30 for you. This is probably a running back. This is kind of a, well, maybe we go Dylan Sampson and play into the Judkins stuff. I don't have enough Sampson, admittedly. I do not have enough Sampson. This is kind of a portfolio play. Not going to lie. We have no Steeler or anything like that. But if Will Shipley's going to go, we can take a chance on Dylan Sampson. It's partially a portfolio play, so don't at me for that one. 15th round, though. Browns are going to score 5 total team rushing touchdowns. We don't need their running backs. Well, that's why I wasn't drafting Judkins very high and very much. I have more Jerome Ford, the most Jerome Ford of all of them. I'm actually pretty overweight on Ford because I still think he's probably going to play like a negative game script role for them. And Sampson wasn't that much of a pass catcher, but I'm also going to lean into the words that they were talking about and the things they were talking about Sampson being a pass catcher for them. I didn't think Sampson was that great of a prospect. Admittedly. He was fine. But his receiving profile was really questionable. And I love receiving profiles. Like, that matters to me. So that's why I don't have more. But in the 15th plus round, when there's so many question marks around Quinshon Judkins, I feel like you got to take him right now. Because if something significant happens to Judkins over the next month, and I don't know exactly what could go down, whatever, but like, we know this kind of thing is just really unpredictable when the reports are as horrific as they are. I mean, there's a chance that, he's not signed yet. What if Cleveland's like, no, we screwed up? Or what? I'm just thinking about all the range of outcomes here. So I do think that those guys have a really real chance of rising. But we need to make some, Pat Bryant. We need to make some correlated picks here. We'll go Pat Bryant for Bo Nix. We can go Michael Wilson also for Kyler. And then we'd be done at wide receiver. This team's coming together. I just think this might be a 3 tight end build with McBride, as I talked about on the show today, actually. Oh, someone took Michael Wilson. Let's think. What tight end works? We can go Chig with Tajay Spears. Don't hate that. Brashard Smith feels like the next round for us with another bring back in Kansas City. Yeah, I'm pretty bullish on Arizona. I think Kyler just like has this perception of being bad, and it's wrong. And so that drives down his cost a little bit. And it's a pretty there goes Noah Gray. It's a pretty straightforward offense too, in terms of who's going to get looks. I'm struggling to pass on Kyler anytime after pick 90. Talk me off. I can't talk you off of him. I think Kyler's a great pick. You guys want to meet Henry? Hey, Henry, come here. Come here. See if he comes over here. Come here, Henry. He can't hear very well. He's old. He's an old guy. Come here. Come here. No, he's not coming over. When you're a 15-year-old dog, you don't do things. All right. This could still be a Jackson Dart team. Because the only thing, we don't have a Bengals bring back. Maybe Taj Brooks is the move over Brashard Smith. I know, Victor, I want Henry to get over here too. Come here, buddy. Come here. Yeah, he's dead asleep now. He's done. He's over it. Taj Brooks might be the better move than Brashard Smith to get some sort of Cincinnati bring back for Arizona. Otherwise, I think we're just looking at potentially going Jackson Dart. Yeah, Henry wears the pants in the relationship. That's right. I mean, he can't hear a thing, and he can barely see. I feel bad for the guy. Oh, Yosivash is still here too. Yosivash would be the next pick if he's there. If not, we could put together a Jackson Dart stack. Is Theo Johnson still there? Yeah, Theo Johnson's still here. I didn't see any news about OBJ, no. Someone probably just took OBJ really, really early, and it boosted up his ADP. I highly doubt Henry is taking Jared Goff at ADP. All right, Yosivash just went, so we're going to go Jackson Dart. And then we could bring it back with Theo or Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton, ideally. Maybe it wouldn't even be Theo Johnson. Maybe this was a bad pick, and it put me in an undesirable situation. Because we only have 7 wide receivers. And we could be okay with Chig and Trey McBride. All right, getting Slayton here would be great. Please don't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. He didn't do it. Went wide receiver. But he took Jalen Coker. So we got a nice little third stack for the playoff weeks if things just break a certain way. And then in the last round, kind of a dealer's choice. I think we go running back. We get one of these, and we go with a 2 tight end build with Trey McBride. Is Dennis Matt Blair in the flesh, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Blair has been a Living the Stream listener. He wrote for Number Fire for a bit when I was editor-in-chief there. It's good to see you, buddy. One of the funniest folks out there. Also a fellow Yinzer. Dennis Northcutt is available. Yes. Yes. We're going to get a random running back in the last round. We can go Monungai to add on to that stack. I think Brashard Smith is the top get, just given the stack we have. One of these two would be great. We could even go Trevor Etienne because we have Zach Charbonnet. It's a weird stack. We can go Krosky Merritt because we have Jaden Blue. Okay. I kind of like this team. I'm kind of into it. It's also really weird to me that Jackson Dart is going after Joe Flacco and so close to Shedeur Sanders in this draft, when I think there's a pretty good chance Jackson Dart is starting during the playoff weeks, and he's a first rounder. It's just weird ADP with him. You guys get ready to grade this draft when it's all done. A lot of rookie running backs. Gonna probably need Amari Hampton to be the starter right away. Yeah, my dog loves Derrick Henry and Hunter Henry. I took Lamar after ADP at 39 this morning. Then QBs went crazy. I had to grab Richardson, Dart, and Russell. Didn't feel good. Yeah, that's rough. It's rough when that happens. All right. We're going to get Brashard Smith. Okay. Let's look at this team. Need you guys to rate it. Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Trey McBride, Amari, and Hampton. All basically past ADP. Cortland Sutton, Roma Dunze, Ricky Pearsall. Again, some ADP value there. Bo Nix and Kyler Murray. So I got Bo with Sutton there. Kyler with Trey McBride. Tajay Spears is sort of a floor for his pass catching. Zach Charbonnet for then the upside of the Kenneth Walker injury. He might get some usable weeks regardless. Jaden Blue, Trey Benson, Hollywood Brown, Dylan Sampson, Pat Bryant. So we connected with the bring back with Hollywood Brown and a Denver stack. Chigakonkwo is just sort of the tight end 2. You know, hopefully Trey McBride is healthy. But Okonkwo gets paired with Tajay Spears. Jackson Dart and Darius Slayton for a maybe late season stack. And then Brashard Smith for another Chiefs player for that Chiefs Broncos game. I like it. I think this is Costco Matt's highest rating of one of my teams. 9.4, very good ADP value, stacks in week 17 upside, 2 thumbs up. 8.5 by Connor, 9. You got an 8 at least from Pete. Yeah, it's a good draft. Feel good about it. We've been running pretty hot recently in these live streams. That one, a little wild at times, but that's why we love DraftKings, man. That's why we love Best Ball Week. Victor gives it an 8.9. Yeah, I dig it. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. As always, I'm glad I could just fire something like this up right after going to the DMV. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we'll do these more often as we have been. Have a great Wednesday. Catch you guys next time.